Not surprised at all. It's who he is. It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of proof.
Former boxing champion Gervonta Tank Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend.
Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done.
Promotions. November 14th, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis has officially been canceled. I know that we all speculated that it would be, and I was pretty much for sure that it would be canceled. But now we have official confirmation.
The boxing world is in shock after Leonard Ellerbe finally spoke out about Gervonta Tank Davis's recent arrest and incident that has sent waves through the sport. Because of this, the highly anticipated Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight has been officially canceled. What was supposed to be one of the biggest crossover boxing events of the decade has now completely fallen apart as Tank's ongoing legal issues once again threaten his career.
So, Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Bedarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Bedarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel.
Leonard Ellerbe, longtime promoter, former CEO of Mayweather Promotions, and a key figure in Tank Davis's career, didn't hold back. He said that the situation has gone too far, calling the fight impossible under the current circumstances. Ellerbe warned that Tank's standing in the sport is now in serious danger. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's camp has already moved forward, reportedly making a formal offer to Ryan Garcia to replace Davis as the main event fighter. Sources claim that Jake's promoter, Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, contacted Garcia about a potential December date. However, Garcia's promoter has raised issues about his existing contracts, which could complicate any deal.
Just wrong. So, as of today, November 2nd, this fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou. I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is.
After hearing that the fight was cancelled, Rolando "Rolly" Romero didn't hold back either. He blasted Jake Paul for focusing on hype instead of real opponents, saying Jake got exposed for chasing clout over competition. Romero even challenged Jake directly, saying he'd slap him around if they ever fought, but he didn't stop there. Rolly also criticized Ryan Garcia, accusing him of avoiding their rematch. He called Garcia unreliable and scared, claiming fans are tired of talkers and just want fighters who actually show up to fight.
I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out... Bro. Jake Paul gets knocked out cold.
Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, stepped in to clear things up. He confirmed that there have been no real negotiations for Ryan to fight Jake Paul. De La Hoya said that if any serious talks were happening, he would personally announce them, but he emphasized that Ryan is focused on other plans and fans shouldn't expect a sudden crossover fight. His statement quickly shut down the rumors and reminded everyone not to believe everything they see online.
Asking you about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced.
Jake Paul's promotional company, Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, released an official statement confirming refunds for fans. Anyone who bought tickets through official platforms like Ticketmaster will get an automatic refund within 14 to 21 days. For those who used resale websites or third-party sellers, MVP advised contacting the vendors directly. At the same time, insiders say Francis Ngannou has become the #1 replacement option for Jake Paul. Talks are reportedly underway to set up what could be one of the most explosive crossover fights in recent boxing history.
On DAZN. First off, I'll say kudos to MVP for refunding people that did buy tickets to this event and also navigating this thing with professionalism, which they did the entire way through. You got to give them credit for that. They really stayed quiet on the rumor front and just handled things as a professional company. That's all you can really ask for. Jake Paul has, in the last couple of hours, tweeted idiot, and then God has a plan always. Two things that I think are both referring to this fight. First off, calling Gervonta Davis an idiot, I assume, and then obviously, you know, God has a plan always, referring to this thing is probably going to work itself out. Obviously, this video is dedicated to talking about future opponents for Jake and potential fight dates. I do have something that I don't know if it's misinformation or not, but I'm just going to talk about it here. This is a tweet from somebody named ATalkers5. I don't know how realistic this potentially even could be, but this is from 4 hours ago. They said 2 of the female bouts scheduled for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis undercard are now scheduled for December 4th.
Francis Ngannou, who shocked the world in his boxing debut against Tyson Fury and later fought Anthony Joshua, remains one of the biggest names in combat sports. Jake Paul's team believes Ngannou's knockout power and global fan base make him the perfect replacement, but Ngannou himself disagreed. He said he would never accept a fight that feels like a publicity stunt. After facing elite boxers like Fury and Joshua, Ngannou said fighting a YouTuber-turned-boxer would be an insult to his skill. He made it clear that combat sports should be respected, not turned into a show for clicks. Fans praised Ngannou's honesty and professionalism, agreeing that a fight between him and Jake Paul wouldn't make sense competitively or financially.
Oh, and you say, yeah, Jake Paul, you know, he's fighting, and I'm like, no, bro, come on, don't, don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. He make no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight makes no sense. That's what I think. That's my my position. And though I went back, I still,
Placement for Gervonta Davis. We had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. The Gervonta Davis, you count, you say, okay, the size different can level up. But at this point, for me to.
On social media, they posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino for their partnership. Then there's some information about, fans who purchase tickets. You can see all of this online. I did speak to Nikisa briefly, and I've seen some people say like, hey, and this was his take. Like, I asked him two questions, basically, like, did this have anything to do with the ticket sales? He said this was going to be a very, very successful event for them financially. And the other thing was like, Tank Davis has a checkered past. He had a checkered past when this fight was made. What changed? Well, obviously, two incidents, allegations, lawsuit. Since the fight was announced, they at the time felt like this was an opportunity for people to learn about who Tank Davis is, for him to show the world that he was a changed man, all this stuff and more. And that didn't happen, and they felt like they had to cancel the event. For the record, I feel like this was 100% the right call. You can't be a promotion that is so heavily invested in women's boxing and work with a guy who has allegations and lawsuits pending